Okay,
Oh, you live now?
there we go. So,
Let's go. We live.
hang on. So I don't know which YouTube. I can cut this part out. I ain't really tripping.
You good? You good? Hold on. Let me see. Let me check you.
So I'm gonna have to probably send another link.
Yeah, it's say you live. Let me see. Think you might be good money.
Oh, okay. All right. It looks like it's working now. I see us in the YouTube. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I see us.
all right. Let's hit these intros real quick. All right. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Bobby W223 here. I know I ain't made a video in a million years, but got some peoples here with me. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll start with Kenny. Go and shout yourself out, man.
How's it going, peoples? My name's Ken, of course, and I rap for the Junkie Monkeys, and I'm glad to be part of this.
That's what's up. All right, we got a one stop for gamers up in here. Go ahead, mate.
What's the deal, YouTube? Y'all already know it's your boy One Star for Gamers. I keep it raw, uncut, and I'm glad to be on this podcast here. And you know I'm gonna hold it down, bro.
That's what's up. And last but not least, the same Prince, Mister Official,
What's going on, World PS Nation in the building? I'm happy to be here.
up in there frying some chicken. All right,
Ribs, man.
make some soul food. That's what's up. All right. Basically, I just kind of wanted to talk about the order and the PS4 in general, and just kind of my feelings on co-op, because I kind of feel going off of the PS3, looking at a lot of Sony's great exclusives, that they didn't really have a lot of big co-op focused games, and I feel like that's the one area that they kind of need to work on because. In my opinion, you can't deny that they got great single player exclusives. The Last of Us and God of War and all those games. You already know, and they have some pretty good competitive online games. I think the Killzone series is pretty good competitively. Even Uncharted as well. Uncharted 2 especially. I love the competitive multiplayer in that. But if you look at a lot of their recent exclusives, they don't have a lot of fully co-op exclusives. I'm not talking about some side story. I'm talking about from start to finish, main campaign, co-op. And I think that's one area that their competitors, especially Microsoft, I feel like they do a lot better job with games like Gears and Halo and etc. And I feel like with Sony, with this big lead that they have with these sales so far, I think that would be a good way to kind of bring the community together a lot more in a way that we haven't seen as much with the other games. So let's start with Mr. Official. What's your opinions on this, man?
I think that it's a lot of games that's out right now that do like have co-op and whatnot. You got games like Knack, even though I know it gets like ridiculed and shitted on quite often. That's one game that came out the gate, with things like co-op, like from beginning to end, you can go through the game. You know what I'm saying, with a buddy. Although I believe the co-op is not online, it's local co-op.
Right, right.
You got games like what else? Dead Nation, Resogun, um, what else? What else? Mercenary Kings, because I don't believe that's on the Xbox One. I mean these are games that where you can go like full co-op. Now some of them may be online, some of them may be local, but I mean the PlayStation does have those type of games. It's just a matter of your taste and what you're looking, what I'm saying, for on the PlayStation 4 platform.
That's a good point. Good point. And even with PlayShare as well, as far as games like Knack, technically they do have online if you have
Yeah,
PlayShare with a good connection. That's true. That's true.
yeah.
Um, I guess one stop. How you feel coming from the Xbox point of view?
I mean, I only can speak of as of right now. To be honest, nail system really have it because if you want to, we could say Dead Rising 3, you could do co-op with that. Um, shit, I don't even count Rise on the own. That multiplayer was so goddamn doodle. But it's really kind of it's kind of dry on both sides. If we go back into the past, then yeah, I would say that Sony is dry in that aspect, and Microsoft did provide us with more multiplayer co-op based games. But as far as this generation, we need a period on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't that many co-op games on either side, and that's my favorite. Me personally, that's my favorite. Co-op is my number one go-to.
Mm,
Then it's single player and then it's multiplayer. So I kind of agree with both of y'all, but I do say that is to me is draw on both sides. I think they both need to bring more co-op games, and I know they got Gears of War. I remember you said something about Gears of War, but that Gears of War ain't out yet. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
we don't those games are not here now. So right now it's dry on both sides. That's my take.
Okay, cool. Kenny, what you feel, man?
Um, with the co-op stuff, and there's been a lot of missed opportunities on a lot of games, I would say. If you want to think about co-op story mode, yeah, there's like the Order could have been one major one that comes to mind.
Hmm.
Um, to me, that could have been PlayStation's Gears of War if, the story was very long. It incorporated all the characters because look, you got four characters in the Order, and then you got four characters in Gears. It's like it could have been something that that kind of leveled up with the Gears of War. It missed the opportunity with just being a single player game. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, me personally, I think that was kind of a no-brainer, especially with this whole thing back and forth, people saying the game's 5 hours or it's 5 minutes or it's 12 hours, all this bullshit going back and forth. If the game really is, 5 hours, I think, yeah, four-player co-op would have been a way to add more replay value because you can play with different friends. Like, say,
Hmm.
us right here, we could all, play the game co-op, run through it in, a weekend or whatever, and then you can play with another group of people, and you know what I'm saying, like it adds replay value just right
Yeah.
there. Because to my knowledge, the game doesn't have any competitive multiplayer, nothing like that. And I hear the single player is dope, but once again, I think that's Sony's strong hand. Just like local multiplayer is like Nintendo's thing, I
Hmm.
think single player, that's like PlayStation's always had great single player games. So I think just evolving and putting co-op with it is like the next best step for them because you can experience this great single player with friends, especially yeah, a game like the Order that looks like it was built for that because like you said, you had the four players and it kind of has a Gears of War ish, kind of style to it and everything like that. you know I just think that would have been perfect, but yeah, it was kind of a missed opportunity. So, I mean, hopefully they'll have a sequel or something like that. They can add co-op. I mean, we'll see, but I just think that this game could have benefited from that. But what the rest of you guys think, Mr. Official? Start with you. Let's see up there frying that gumbo or something. Which
My bad. Nah, I had to unmute it because I don't want my background being on
that's
interfering in
that's cool, man. You getting that
podcast.
gumbo and collard greens and stuff. It's all good.
Nah, but seriously though, I believe like in regards to like games like The Order, what they're trying to do first is they're trying to follow the Uncharted formula. Uncharted One didn't have any multiplayer, no co-op, anything. It was just straight story. You get a layout of the groundwork and what kind of vibe they want to bring to the table, and then Uncharted 2 it had co-op and multiplayer. So I believe that maybe, I mean, it's not 100%, but maybe just maybe that Ready or Done is following the same format in regards to The Order. Although I honestly felt that at the start of being introduced to that game that it should have been co-op based too, but after giving it some thought and actually playing it for myself at the PlayStation experience, I'm thinking like, well, it is a new IP, so you're taking a chance on that. So you don't want to put all of these resources into a game that may or may not do well. You know, they've already said that they've laid out a platform for them where in which that the game can flourish and have sequels and be its own universe and things like that. So, I wouldn't put it past them to maybe try to implement it down the line. But as of right now, I think that they're just playing it safe and just making it a single player game. So in which if it does do well, then they can add those elements later. And then on top of it, this is also a new engine. So it's a lot of factors to keep in mind for why it may or may not have these elements that, people are, thirsty for.
It's a good
That's
point.
true. Um, can I say something? I would
Yeah,
like
go
to
ahead.
say, you know, with the longevity thing, because I know Bobby brought it up. You're gonna pay $60 for a 5 hour game, or let's say average 8 hour game, 9, 10.
Hmm.
That's like a rent. That's like a game that you should just rent. It's
Yeah.
not saying you should own it. Like, I was going to buy the premium edition with the Lycan statue with the Galad, and I was hyped for it. But once I heard about that news, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have these, tangible things, and I'm gonna play it once. That's absurd. Like to spend what over 150 for that, and I was just kind of pissed. I mean, thinking drop all that money and then you play it one time, then you just have a statue and some books.
Some books.
Yeah.
You
Trying to
know, I
get rid of.
mean,
But let me just jump in right quick. I think that a lot of people tend to have amnesia, and I think that's when I normally come into play because I have a very, very good memory. Now, when the Order 1886 was first announced, I think this is one of the main reasons. This might not apply to everybody,
uh-huh.
but when the Order 1886 first was announced, and they just showed us that small little snippet, I remember this shit, and everybody was very hyped up. And you remember when people was like, "Oh snap!" It looks somewhat similar to Gears of War. This might be the Gears of War killer. And when we saw the characters, when we saw how many characters is what it was, that's when the rumors and the idea of this is gonna be the Gears of War competition or the Gears of War killer. And I think that what happened was when we found out that it was single player, and now recently we found out it's very short. I think that's where the real backlash is coming from those individuals, because those are the individuals that have been let down. Think
Mhm.
about it. If you thought that, oh snap, look at the co-op, because when you look at Gears of War, graphically it looks good. It's a fun game, even though we know it kind of went downhill with the last one.
Mhm.
But when you look at the Order 1886 and how beautiful that game looked, and then you implement co-op or four-player co-op to a game that looked that good, that would have killed Guilds of War. That's just my opinion. But that is not the case. You got just a regular single player game with all these characters who they could have easily made into a co-op game, and now they're Sony is getting that work. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming from I think it's coming from those individuals. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with every thing that you guys were saying. I want to go back to Mr. Fisher real quick. He did make some good points about how if you look at the progression of Uncharted and also the fact that the Order is on a new engine. My only rebuttal to that is not that I disagree. It's just that the whole 5 hour thing, regardless that if it's on a new engine, all this stuff, I feel like we should want more than that. This generation as gamers, that we're going to be spending this kind of money. You know what I'm saying? And if they really couldn't put co-op in here because it's a new engine and it's a new IP and they didn't want to blow too much money, which I can understand. I mean, money's money. You know what I'm saying? I get it,
True.
but like dang, you couldn't have added some more story. Like you know what I'm saying? Like would it have cost that more to make the game like 12 hours? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like damn, I mean, and once again, go back to the first Uncharted. I get that was only probably about what 7 hours. I can't remember for sure, but it wasn't that long. So I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, should we accept that as gamers? Should we just expect every new IP to only be like 4 or 5 hours and just be like, oh, okay, well, it's the first game, so it's just bare bones. Okay, cool. Because the first Gears, I mean, granted, it was on the Unreal Engine, but it had competitive multiplayer. It had co-op out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, damn, yo, like what's going on with that? And you got Bloodborne, which is technically a new IP. I know it's kind of part of like the Demon Souls, Dark Souls thing, but technically that's a new IP, and it has co-op, and I mean it looks dope. So it's just kind of like, what's going on with that whole 5 hour thing. If they really couldn't get co-op, you think they would have been like, hey, let's at least try to push for like 10 hours or something, so they got more to do. Once you beat the game, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like,
Mhm.
what's the deal with that? But that's just the way I felt with that game. I just hope that Sony's not gonna go in that direction, because we're still early, so we don't know what these consoles are gonna be like in 3-4 years. You know
True.
what I'm saying? And I just hope they're not going in this direction again, where they have all these cinematic games, which are cool. I like them. I'm a PlayStation fan, obviously, but can we get some other stuff in between the cinematic, 5-6 hour games? Can we get some co-op in there as well, like
Uh-huh.
in the main story? And that's just something I feel like, as a fan of this brand, like, I think we should kind of ask for that, because right now PS4 is doing great. I think a lot of people are just so happy with the PS4 that we kind of let all this other stuff slide, which is cool, because Sony got bashed last generation. Like, everybody was getting, cross game Chad, the price. I mean, everybody was getting in on them. But I think now, because the PS4 started off so good, that any downside is just kind of like, oh, it's cool, it's all right. But it's kind of like, no, like, don't let them just slide by on every little thing because they're selling great or whatever. Like, if Sony gets comfortable, like we've seen with the PS3, like, I don't want to go back to that shit. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to wait 4 years for the next, Uncharted type of game. You know what I mean? Like, let's get this ball rolling now, so we can have even better games in the next 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? But
I think that um, I'm sorry about cutting anybody off.
No, you
Uh,
good.
okay, I think that when it comes to these companies as a whole, I think that they're still selling us demo techs, and what I mean by that, we are, I know us as gamers, we understand that when you trying to present a new product, you want us to know what the consoles can do. I respect that and I understand that. That's good business. That's good marketing. You got to remember, 1886 got pushed back. Now, the first year, I understand you want to show us how powerful your system is or what your system can do. Now, they don't push back the order 1886 to 2015, which I still believe is nothing more than a demo tech. That's the same shit that Microsoft pulled with Rise Son of Rome. They was just presenting, look, this is how powerful our system is. Look how beautiful the graphics. If we want to take it there, we can take it there. That's fine. I just think that these companies need to stop selling these fucking demo techs and give us fucking games. I don't really care about the graphics being that great. You know what I'm saying? I know that the systems can do that. So ain't no need to keep pushing that shit. Just give us games. Good games. As long as the graphics is better than last gen, I'm all right with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me 360 graphics. You know what I'm saying? If it's better than 360, I'm cool. As long as that game is pretty lengthy, as long as they have replay value, as long as the mechanics is on point, I'm gonna go out there and support the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I just think that they're gonna keep on pushing these demo techs and hoping that the fans are constantly being stupid enough to buy these damn games, man. That first year is over with. This is year two. Stop selling that last year shit. That phase we should have been already past that phase with the Son of Rome and the Order 1886. They should be just pumping out decent looking games that everybody can enjoy and go out there and spend their money on some of these games. You know what I'm saying? And at least get a bang for their buck at the same time. You feel me?
Right. I feel you. I mean, I don't know, to counter that, I look at it like this, right? Um, yeah, we understand that the game was pushed back and whatnot, but at the same time, with as many broken games as we've experienced in 2014, I mean, who's to say that they may not have, pushed it back to actually like work on bugs and whatnot? Because even when when I played it at the PlayStation Experience, they were saying that they were still working out the kinks and stuff like that. So I mean,
I mean, you got a point, but the point I'm making is they didn't. Even if they would have pushed the order back into 2016, you know what I'm saying? Still drop something that'll keep us occupied until then. I just feel like this here. If you're gonna make a video game that's graphically demanding to that extent, don't do that shit within a year or 2 years. You could push that bitch. You can look at Rockstar. Rockstar, they'll spend 5 years on making one fucking game.
yeah, they
But that
would.
don't mean that Rockstar is not gonna make other games in between that time frame. You see what I'm saying? So if they was gonna do the Order 1886 right, they could have pushed that game back to 2016. We could have probably had a 15 to 20 hour game that still looked that good. But don't mean that Sony need to just sit on their fucking hands and don't produce no games in between that time. I just think that they don't if they want to drop beautiful games like that, they can drop other titles in between that time.
Get some
That'll
indie.
just be a game we can look forward to in the future. Don't just take a game, make it look really, really good, and it's basically a demo, and try to, milk the shit out your fan base. That's all I'm saying.
Saying don't pull a Microsoft. What you saying? Is that what you're
Basically, yeah. Don't because Sony could. I agree. What was said earlier, Sony could get comfortable. They got a very big lead, and they can fall into that trap. Like, oh well, we really don't have to do nothing. We got the fan base. They're supporting the software. Shit, let's just start doing the Microsoft thing and just get all the money. You know what I'm saying? And give them shitty games, not shitty games, but give them really short games, and we can still make and sell it for the full price.
Yeah.
That
I
ain't
doubt it.
cool.
I doubt it because this is just as you think there's as many PlayStation fans, there's a lot of PlayStation haters. So I don't think that they're gonna get comfortable. You know what I'm
No, they
saying?
can't.
There's
See,
too many people that want them to fail.
right. But see, the thing is, it ain't even just about the haters. See, I think that Sony, the position that Sony in right now, is very difficult. And I know a lot of people might ask, well, what do you mean they have a big lead? When I say difficult, it's because of the size of the fan base. You got to remember, the more fans you have, the more of a backlash you can receive from them same fans. So not only that, you could get applauded by a whole bunch of people, by millions and millions of people, but if you fuck up, you could get millions of people that's gonna hate your shit, and that's gonna have a bigger impact on what Sony do. So at the end of the day, I think it's a good and bad side to having a very large fan base. But for the gaming, for us gamers, being what damn near 20 million strong is a plus for us because when we get upset, they gonna have to feel the wrath of a lot of people. You see what I'm saying?
True.
That'll keep them in line. You feel me? So yeah, I think it's a good and bad side of having that many fans.
Hmm.
Yeah, you guys both making some great points. My only thing I just don't want them to relapse back into the PS3, but they probably won't just because they got such a big backlash from the PS3. But at
Uh-huh.
the same time, these companies they love money, so it's just like if they're selling damn near 20 million in a year and some change, and they're talking about this system is on pace to possibly outsell the PS2, which is the number one selling console of all time. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, and this is what. I'm not saying that the games that they have are bad. I mean, I got a PS4. I enjoy the hell out of it, but let's not act like these exclusives overall are just some to do some backflips over. They're cool, and they're off to a good start. I think Bloodborne, in my opinion, is gonna be the first real like big like a must have game in my opinion, or at least one of the first. Let me say that because Infamous Second Son is a business. But anyway, um, you know, it's like they could get comfortable with all these sales and feel like we could just put out you know one big game a year maybe, and then just have some other stuff that's just kind of mediocre. And it's like nah, like let's do this right. And so far they've been doing good, but they could always go that other direction, you know.
Yeah,
So
anything can happen.
right, because this is still early. I mean, look at the 360. You know, as far as games exclusives were those first couple of years, 360 had RPGs. They had a lot of great stuff. Now, but then look at the after I say about 2009 to 2010 though. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like anything could happen after those first those first few years, and I want a strong console from start to finish. And so far, so good. I'm not trying to act like the order looks great. The PS4's got some good games, but things could start slipping if they're the fan favorite right now as far as sales go. They could just be like a one stop. So they could be like, well, fuck it, we can just do anything. These motherfuckers are gonna buy it, even if only half the fan base buys it. That's still almost 10 million. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but that's also half a fan base that might be like, what the fuck is so. But yeah, they're in a good position, but they're also kind of in a weird position because the more fans you have, that's more people that you got to cater to, and that's more people. The thing about PlayStation gamers is, unlike not to take shots at Nintendo or Xbox fans, but a lot of Xbox and Nintendo fans all kind of like the same type of games. You know what I mean? Whereas PlayStation gamers, you got your dude bros, you got your RPG heads, you got people that like fighters, you have very large and distinct groups of different gamers that are all PlayStation gamers. Whereas Xbox is primarily, I would say, shooters, and Nintendo is like, platformers and stuff like that, which is cool. But it sucks for Sony because they had to try to cater to all these different type of people and satisfy all these different kind of people. But these 5 hour games, in my opinion, that shit's just not gonna cut it no more. Like we had that stuff last year. Like we need. I think 10 hours should be, unless it's an independent game. I'm talking about because this is a AAA game to me. The Order 18 is AAA, and 5 hours for a AAA game is kind of like, damn, like there's nothing else to do once that 5 hours is up, or 8 hours, whatever. It's just kind of like, damn, you know.
Yeah, I agree because I mean, especially the way these companies promoted these so-called new systems. They promoted them as bigger and better. So you expect bigger worlds, longer games, better graphics, better frame rates, better resolution. We all expect it bigger and better. And right now, every now and then we get a hiccup. You know what I'm saying? And I think as consumers, and we're supporting your product, our money ain't a fucking hiccup when we paying you. You don't wait. I mean, it's no ifs buts about it when you get that when you go to pay for a game. They don't have to wait on updates and patches. They don't have to wait on shit. They getting their money right then and there. So as consumers, we expect the same thing in return. And I know a lot of people they always damage control bullshit. And that's what kind of irks my mind because like I said, at the end of the day, it's supposed to go both ways. I pay for a product, that product works. You know what I'm saying? You tell me your product does something, it should do that. And a lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't bash it. You shouldn't do this. I'll be damned. If I give them my motherfucking money, I expect for what they told me it's supposed to do, it's supposed to fucking do that. There is nothing else I want to hear or see but that product perform in the way it was advertised. That's it.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean that's that's basically what it is.
You feel me? So I don't know why I be getting all this hate, man. It's like, nobody can, they try to damage control the shit I say, but nobody can, prove what I say to be absolutely or 100% false. You know what I'm saying? So, I just thrive on speaking the truth and being real to myself and to, to the people in the gaming community. But, I mean, a lot of people is damage controlling the order. I don't know why.
Yeah, you can't damage control 5 hours.
But you have people.
Let me say something. It's not damage controlling, but
no, you good.
I'm just saying. This is from my personal belief. You know what I'm saying? Whether the game is short or not, I don't believe that it's actually 5 hours.
I think it's probably around like
I don't think it's
7 or 8 hours. I think that dude did like a speed run or some shit like that.
It's not even that. It's just the simple fact that so many people have hated on the game. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I've said this multiple times, especially on podcasts with the council. Like I wasn't really excited for the order until I got a chance to play it myself as a PlayStation experience. So I don't know. It just seems like so many people have such a ill intent about the game without playing it. I think that maybe if people were open-minded enough to give the game a shot and actually play it, maybe they'll feel differently, or maybe not. But at least you can say you played it. I,
Yeah,
it's
you're
just
right.
like it's a whole group of people that just like does not want this game to do well, and that's just like for any graphically good looking game, because a lot of
Hmm.
people, you know, felt that the Rise was gonna be boring, whatever. Like I got an Xbox One and whatnot. I haven't played Rise, but even though it's gotten like so scrutinized, like I'm still interested in playing it. I'm gonna give it a shot. I haven't gotten around to buying it, but that's not to say I'm not gonna own it and enjoy the game. But
It's
I just
cool.
think that
I
the
mean,
whole thing with
I
the
shit.
order,
I'll be the first. I shitted on Rise, but I shitted on it after I played the damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
So
but see that's fair. At least you played it though, right?
Right.
yeah, yeah. But a lot of people tried to tell me that, well, you shitted on Rise, so why you still gonna pick up the Order 1886? Now, don't get it twisted. I criticize. I'm gonna criticize what I think what I not what I think, what I know that bothers me about a certain game.
Right,
Now, if I think that the game was utter dog shit, I won't pick it up. But if I have a certain issues with the game, and I believe that it's still like a worth the purchase, or I still check it out. It might be all right. I'm gonna still go and get the game. I'm gonna still support the game. Now, of course, I'm gonna do a review of the game after I play it. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's gonna be a good, it's gonna be all positive, but people was like, well, you gonna get the order. You must be a Sony pony. I said, y'all motherfuckers want to say that shit when I bought the Rise though. When I bought Rise, something wrong. Y'all didn't call me a pony then. I shitted on the game because it was certain parts of the game that I didn't like. It was certain aspects of the game I didn't like. And when I pick up the order on Friday, I'm gonna do the exact same shit. You know what I'm saying? If there's certain aspects of the game I don't like, I'm gonna speak upon it. I'm not gonna just sugarcoat it and try to make it seem like that's the greatest game in the world if it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, I might criticize the game. I'm not saying that it's going to be a bad game. Hell, it might be a damn good game. I just wish that the game was a lot longer due to the fact it's missing the co-op and multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? That's the only really bad the really issue I have with the order. But I'm still excited about playing the game as a whole though.
Yeah, I pretty much feel the exact same way. Oh, Kenny, you have anything to say? I'll let you go. You just talk for a little bit.
No worries, man. I was just thinking with the games nowadays. I mean, the PS4 was made with developers, to make games easier on them. So if it's easier for them to make games, I mean, they should put out something, extravagant, like something long-lasting, something for the value of your money. Because without that, like if you just throw out like 5 hour game, I know we've been talking about 5 hours and what so, but the longevity of the game itself isn't gonna impact the gamer in the long run. They might
Mm.
just play it and just totally forget about it and say, "Oh, the order was okay." Then all talks about it would stop. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, you're right.
it's not gonna have a long-lasting effect on the gamer or the community itself.
'Cause people
So
aren't really engaged in it as much as they could have been.
yeah. So again, that's a missed opportunity again.
Yeah, that's basically what One Stop said. That's exactly how I feel. Like I'm trying to make sure it's like I'm not trying to shit in the game. I'm not trying to say it's bad because like Mr. Fisher, I think you're the only one in who's actually played it. Like I haven't played the game, so I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, the gameplay looks shitty. Like I haven't played the game. I think it looks dope. Like I want to play the game. Like it looks fun. I love games like Gears and Uncharted, like any of those kind of third person,
It
stop
is
and
a
hop
good game.
games.
It is a
Yeah.
good game. I
Oh,
tried
have
it
you
out
have you
for
played it?
myself too. Yes.
Oh shit, man, I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot you guys did go to the what you call them, didn't
I
you?
went to that GameStop Expo
Okay,
and
so we got
then
two people in here that play
yeah.
good.
So it is a good, like, to me the sound quality was fantastic. I really did like the gameplay. I mean, some people didn't, but I liked it. I mean, it worked for me.
Did it feel more
So
like Gears or Uncharted to you? And Mr. Fish,
um,
you answer the question too.
that was kind of like a mixture.
Yeah.
I can't say it favored one or the other, but it was really good from what I played so far.
Cool.
Um, with that expectation of it's gonna be like so awesome, and everyone's been anticipating this since the announcement, right?
Hmm.
So to hear that bad news, it just like freaking downs the whole thing. Um,
The hype a
the
little
It
hype.
bit.
kills the
Thank you.
momentum for you,
Yeah, the momentum, the hype.
man.
It slows
Nah,
it down so much. And
nah.
Mr. Fisher
See that?
ponying up
oh,
over here. It
Nah,
ain't like that.
I'm not ponying up, but this
Oh,
how I've always felt about games, though, man. Just like you can't let these people, you know what I'm saying, try to put a damper on your own
that's
enthusiasm for
true.
a game because a lot of these dudes ain't genuine. They got an agenda. They want you to praise what they like and hate what you love. You know what I'm saying? So just off that alone, like I don't know. Even though I heard it was, dude went through his 5 hour video upload, I'm thinking first thing that came to my mind instead of being unhyped for the game was here we go with this bullshit because somebody somebody is
one
trying to throw
person.
salt in the game, right? Because think about it, prior to that one event, it was getting good reviews. Like the game is solid, you know what I'm saying. Some people were saying they got like 12 hours of gameplay out of it, 10 hours.
Right.
Somebody even said like 18 hours or whatever the case may be. But that one single negative thing that's said about the game, and everybody just clings a harp onto that. So for me, I'm still enthusiastic about the game. I'm looking forward to Friday to go pick up my collector's edition. I didn't get the premium edition because, like I said, at first I wasn't excited about the game, but I got the collector's edition because
Right.
that was still available. But just like, man, we are our own people, man. Do not let these people put a damper on your happiness. You know what I'm saying? Think for
That's
yourself,
true.
be open minded, and you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to like what you like. Do not let these idiots, put a damper on something that you can enjoy. You can genuinely enjoy because
That's
that's a
true.
lot. These dudes, when they hear stuff like that, you know, that makes them happy because they're like, yeah, Sony sucks. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Just enjoy what you. I mean, at least if you played it for yourself and you don't enjoy it, I can respect that. But
Uh,
from somebody who has like a negative intent on the game, like I can't respect that because especially if you haven't played it, you didn't have any intentions of playing it anyway, and you was bashing it from the start. Like, why should I listen to you? Because you automatically have it made in
You have
your
a
head.
negative stigma about it.
Right, you got a stigmatism about it that you pretty much wasn't messing with it anyway, and you want everybody else to feel like you feel about it. So I wouldn't. I really hope that maybe over the next few days, you know what I'm saying, just still be open minded and give it a shot and just try for yourself. At least if you played it for your own and you don't like it, you think it's crap. At least you gave it a shot on your own, and opposed to letting somebody else influence what you like.
that's true.
That's
I
true.
mean, I'm still getting the game. Don't get me wrong. I'm still hyped about it, but I wasn't. I'm not like as hyped as I was before for it because I had the premium edition. I already paid it off. But after
Right.
hearing that news and thinking the value for my money isn't gonna be there because there's no multiplayer, I mean, it didn't have to. But if the game was long enough, then I would have been like okay with it. But since even if that guy did a speed run or whatever, if it's an 8 hour game, I'm thinking this new generation, they have the capabilities with developers to, make a very impactful game on the community and make it last. And then from there on, go to sequels and whatever the case may be. You know, I mean, that's just my opinion. But I am still getting it day one, just not that premium edition. So I'm still gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, like I said, man, I just think as gamers, we shouldn't allow them to get comfortable doing shit like this. You know what I'm saying?
That is also
Yeah,
true. That is also true.
Because when you look at it, let's just say hypothetically, right? Let's say the Order 1886 out the gate do 3-4 million. Boom. You really believe that other developers gonna say, wow, look what we have here. Everybody is gonna jump on we can sell games, bruh, for 4-5 hours and sell them for 60, and they will buy them. That means every game we gonna get in the future might be that short. Then what we gonna do? Then what we supposed to do?
Play on Nintendo, I
Yeah, yeah, I'm just saying real.
guess.
Like,
For a
come
game.
on, 5 hours, five. Okay, I know it is more than 5 hours. I'm just using that as an example, but I'm gonna just
Mhm.
say 5 to 10 hours. I mean, what the fuck year do they really believe this is? Last time I checked, it was 15. 2015. Why is we got any games that's that short? Why? And nobody's asking that real question. This is not the Nintendo days. This is not
Well,
you know what I'm saying? This is fucking what we these are this PS4, Xbox One, Wii U. This is the generation that we're in right now. And we still getting games as if this is the early 2000s. It shouldn't, dog. We shouldn't condone it. Now, me personally, like I say, if you I'm getting the game. If you want to buy the game, I agree with what Mister was saying too. Don't let nobody else discourage you from what you want to do with your own money. Now, I agree with that. Make your own mind up. But what I'm saying is, I just think that we should be. This is a very, very thin. We just walking on very thin ice with this shit here, because it could be a good thing they sell a lot. It could also be a bad thing if all the other developers try to follow suit with this shit. That's all I'm saying.
true. That is true.
That's
I
true.
mean, it is a risque, choice to make.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing I feel because once again, the game looks dope to me, and I want to play it. I don't know if I'm getting it day one because I'm getting that DBZ and that Bloodborne, and I ain't rich or nothing like that, so I gotta space my shit out. But I will play the game sooner than later. Like most definitely, I do want to get my hands on it. It's just when I first found out that the game didn't have co-op, that really killed the hype for me. Whenever the game was first announced last year or what have you, but I always kept my eye on the game, even though it's kind of like, damn, like that's what I wanted out of this game, kind of like, man, but I always still kept my eye on it. Every gameplay, every announcement or interview, 'cause I still wanted to know what this game was about and the story and the gameplay and everything like that. And I still want to play it, but it's just that hype just kind of got a little bit killed from no co-op, and then this whole controversy with the length and blah blah blah. Kind of like, man, like, is that worth 60 of my dollars? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I got to pay for a lot of other real life shit before I buy games, and Bloodborne, that DBZ, those games are coming up, and those are games I am getting. So it's just kind of like, damn, y'all want to spend another $65 for something that I could beat in one sitting. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's dope, it could be the best game out of those three, like gameplay wise and graphics and stuff. But if I can run through it in one sitting versus something I can play, for a couple weeks or whatever the case may be, it's kind of like, what I'm saying?
Right. Right. I know you want to get the bang for your buck. I mean, all gamers should be that way. You know what I'm saying? I believe that most of us was or are
Yeah,
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
totally agree.
My mom and dad ain't bought a game for me in probably about 15, 20 years. So you know what I'm saying? This is coming from my pocket.
Exactly. Exactly. And I
I mean,
think that. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
no, no, you good.
All right. I was saying I think that you hit the nail right in the coffin, because a lot of people tend to forget that people have a real life outside of YouTube. I know they just see a video and that's all they see. They don't know how, the responsibilities that people have outside of this. We don't have the luxury to just be wasting money like this here. Especially on products that was promised to perform a certain way or be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Even if I had the luxury, I don't want to get ripped off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't care. I could be a millionaire. I do not want to be ripped off. I mean, you tell me, or you presented the game a certain way, it should perform that way. You know what I'm saying? That's just like with the Halo Master Chief Collection. I'm not gonna get into all that bullshit, but y'all get my drift. I mean, they promoted that game to be the to bring back so many great memories. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't remember. You know what I'm saying? It not working. I don't remember that part. I mean, is that in the contract, motherfucker? I don't remember that. You know, it's just crazy, man. Just like we don't put up with broken games, we shouldn't put up with certain other fuckeries that goes on with these developers and these companies, man. You know, I'm just like I say, man. At the end of the day, we have the power, and we need to. Sometimes we need to flex our muscles, man. We can't let them just run over us like that, you know.
And we got to speak with our wallets, you know what I'm saying? But I hope the game does sell well though, because I do want to see a sequel. And like Mr. Official said, if they do go the Uncharted route, if they hypothetically do make a sequel, which I feel that they probably are, so for some of the interviews I've seen recently, they probably will have some kind of co-op, whether it's like a side story or it's the main campaign or whatever. They probably will in the sequel, and I would love that. It just sucks that we gotta, you know, one, we gotta wait a whole
Wait
nother
it out, yeah.
game, and we gotta spend all this money in hopes that they might do it, because we could spend all this money on this game, or
And they're gonna take our money and abandon the shit.
yeah, they could be like, "Fuck it, we're gonna make another new IP," which is fine, but it's kind of like, damn, I think that this story and this lore is dope. Like it reminds me a lot of like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and a little bit of Underworld, like that kind of
Underworld,
style. And
yeah.
I like that shit, so I want to see more. It's just like, damn, like it would have been so dope if they started off with co-op. Just Sony would be killing it right now. They got the sales, they got Bloodborne's coming out, they got this, and they got some co-op in this game, and they, what I mean, Infamous Second Son was hot last year, and it's just like, bam, you know what I mean, like, but then it's like this is like one of the first big games of the year for them exclusively. In the game, I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but it's just kind of like, man, like it's just that one extra step I would have loved to see them have, like just but of course, no company's perfect, no console's perfect, no game's perfect. I get we can't ask for everything under the sun all the time, because I don't know how hard it is to make games. It really could have been the case of a new engine, new system. They might have wanted to put co-op in there, but maybe they just really financially, or as far as the engine, maybe they really just couldn't do it. I don't know. But as a fan, I would love to see it. So hopefully this game does get supported enough, and we can see that in the future, because that would be dope.
And see now, with I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off that a little bit because you made a pretty good point. Now, I think, but I want to just add this though. I think that with the backlash they're getting, they probably wouldn't even have a choice if they decide to make another one to implement co-op or multiplayer or both.
That
You
is
know,
true. I agree with that.
and see that's the reason why. I always say that one thing I like about Sony fans is because when they see something wrong, they tend to speak up. And I say on my side, the Xbox side, they don't, and that's why we always getting shitted on. They people on my end on the Xbox side most of the time they just flat out either allow or damage control fuckery, and they expect for Microsoft to automatically just give us good shit or automatically change. It doesn't work that way. If you're spending your money on shitty products and saying, hey, give us some more shitty products, they're going to give you shittier products. You have to start talking up. I wish that the Microsoft fan base would do. We don't have to be clones, but to do something similar to what Sony fans do. And I like that about Sony fans. When they see that bullshit, they go in, man. They be on Twitter, Facebook, they go in like, bitch, y'all about to fix this shit. And as Sony come out, oh sorry master, we're gonna fix it. We promise. You want some free shit? What you need? Microsoft is like, look at they stupid ass. They bought the Halo Master Chief Collection. They still buying it. Look at the stocks going up. Look, you feel me? Like,
Man,
and I'm over here frustrated as hell, man. Like, what?
yeah, that Halo 5, that what's it, 150 or 300 collector's edition?
250 fucking dollars.
Man,
We don't even know what we're getting.
that shit is pre-ordered like up to hell. I think it's like in the top 10 right now.
Niggas are pre-ordering a mystery package.
You ain't lying.
Oh man.
Fuck, man. See, and what you think gonna happen in the future when it comes to Xbox? They pre-order. They're gonna do it again. Other developers are gonna say, look at they so stupid. Let's try to give them a mystery package with our new IP or our new game. Let's see how many jackasses gonna go out there and buy it. And that's the if they would have put their foot down and say, you know what, you're not telling us what we getting. Fuck that, we're not buying that shit. We'll just get the regular game. I bet you Microsoft would have had to change their tune then. They would have had to try something else. And the other developers that even if they create a game that's going to be on the Microsoft platform, they wouldn't try it because they know that the fan base is not stupid to fall for it. But right now it don't seem that way, man.
Yeah, pretty much, man. To defend the Xbox fans real quick, at least they're not as bad as the Nintendo fans. Like, no shots to my Nintendo homies, the real Nintendo gamers, but as a whole, these Nintendo fanboys should be ashamed of themselves right now. Like, man, at least on the Chrome side of YouTube and just yeah. But I will say the Xbox fans, they do speak at least a little more than them, but as far as the PlayStation fans, I think the reason why so far this generation, why you've seen a lot of PlayStation fans speak up right away when they see bullshit, is because we went through a whole generation of bullshit last gen. I think a lot of
Man, through the
people,
PS3.
yeah, I think a lot of people just don't want that shit to happen again. So, with people like Shuhei Yoshida, who actually replies to people a lot on Twitter, which is dope, and a lot of other people, and in the community or whatever, you see them just tweet them or whatever directly and be like, hey, like, what's going on with this, what's going on with that, and I think a lot of games are trying to just nip this shit in the bud ASAP, because with the PS3 it was the other way around. A lot of Sony, aside from like cross game chat, some other stuff, because they did get bashed for that, but I think a lot of stuff that went on last generation, a lot of PlayStation gamers didn't speak up as quickly, I'll say it like that, as they are this gen, because we went through our third console curse. If you look at Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, and even Sega, it's like that third system. It's like, I don't know what it is, but PS3, they had their hiccups. I think Xbox is going through it right now with the Xbox One. Nintendo, even though I love the N64, that was kind of like that system where Nintendo started to kind of fuck up, and with the third party and stuff like that. If you look back in history, and even Sega, the Sega Saturn, that was their third console, and that's where they lost a lot of money, which is why the Dreamcast, had its problems, because they didn't have a lot of money and this, that, and the other. So I think now that PlayStation's gone through its third console curse, a lot of people are like, look, let's get back to the PS1 and PS2 days now. Like, we went through our shit with the PS3. We had some great exclusives, Uncharted, all that stuff was great, but let's get back to the real shit, as well as Uncharted. I like Uncharted. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have that game, but I think that's why people are so hyped for like Persona 5 and stuff like that, because it reminds them of the old PS1 and PS2 days and stuff like that. So that's why I want to bring all this stuff up, because it's like I just don't want to see some kind of relapse.
I agree.
But I mean, I don't know, Kenny, if you say something, or anybody else.
Um, you guys touched up on a lot of good points, considering Sony and their reaction to what's going on with their consoles and stuff like that. Uh, Now it's just up to the developers if they could do that. If Ready at Dawn could address this issue, you know, um, if we could get, I mean, the day and age or this generation now is a lot more info based, and everybody wants information now, and you know they want to see what's going to benefit them. And if developers and publishers could you know help with that, then that would be great. I mean, just more communication
Oh yeah,
helps everybody. So I don't know what you guys could take off that.
I
no,
mean,
that's true.
there is communication, man. I don't know if you follow these guys on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, like
Whatever.
Shuhei Yoshida especially, like.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
not
yeah, I
even
know
that. Just
Yoshida
like the
does.
actual the dads of the order. What's his
Oh
name?
yeah, yeah.
What's Andrea? How do you pronounce his last
I know
name?
you're talking
I know
about.
he
I know
didn't
you're
want to
talking
talk
about.
about it anymore, right?
Yeah, because they keep hounding him about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they've even went on record. They got an article now on Eurogamer discussing like the length of the game and whatnot, and people are
Oh, okay.
still harping onto that one negative thing about the game being five hours.
Yeah, if I was there, I'll just the game's basically, about to come, or it is out. People are playing it. People post on Facebook and shit. So as far as developers right now, I'd be like, you know what, let the game speak for itself. If this was still like a few months out, then I would be, trying to defend my product. But it's like, look, the game's done. Just, check it out on Twitch if you still got questions. Like the game can speak for itself at this point. But yeah, I kind of feel bad for him if he's getting harassed. It's one thing to ask questions, another thing like don't be harassing these developers and stuff like that
That's
because
true.
they work hard
Yeah,
to give us our hobby. So it's a fine line. Looks I get we all get passionate, we all get pissed off, but these are all human beings too. They
yeah.
all eat
Gotta be adults about it, you know.
right, right.
Um, Going off what you said about that negativity thing, everybody could remember positive things forever, but if you fuck up one time, then that shit's like
Oh yeah.
everyone's gonna be on you for that one
Look at
thing,
the Xbox right now. It's a
you know?
perfect example.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that is true.
I mean, it could date back to anything actually. So
Hmm.
that one negative thing really does impact the whole release date, whole your view on the game itself, even if you haven't played it yet. So
That's true.
Yeah, man. I mean, overall, man, I do hope the game does well. I do not believe that it's 5 hours, and I would like to see it do well so we can get sequels and we can have more of the things that we really desire, like what I'm saying, co-op. The reason that is video being made, you
Hmm.
know. So I'm going to support it. I'm supporting it because I understand that even though it's a AAA title, this is like their first big release,
Yeah, it's their
outside of like the
PSP
God of War
game,
series.
which are really good. Those PSP games are dope. Which is another reason why I've been having my eye on it because these ain't no half-ass developers either. These are some of Sony's best as far as handheld. So this is dope. This is their first big home console release and stuff like that. Like you said.
You,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. What what if the game turns out to be 5.5, maybe 6 hours after you get the game, but the game is still pretty much, either amazing or good. Would you still have a problem with it, or would you just be fine with that?
oh, that buyer's remorse thing, or
No, he's just saying because of the simple fact of it being 5 hours.
Right, I'm
How it's
saying like after we get the game. I was just asking, in general,
oh,
like to
in general.
everybody, like what if the game is actually, let's just say let's say 6 hours. Let's say the game is 6 hours, right? Say you
Hmm.
play the game and it's about 6 hours long. You beat the game in probably one day, 2 days, probably one day most likely. But the game is either great or good. Would you still be upset about that?
I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't necessarily be upset. But we kind of just like, damn. But I mean, so we've played games like that before. Like for example, Heavenly Sword is one of my favorite exclusives on the PS3, and that game was only like 6 hours. So I'm not trying to act like games that are short can't be good. Some of the best games in history are short. It's just like I feel in this new generation, we shouldn't just accept the same shit all the time. You know what I mean? In a game like this, I feel I feel like it could have benefited from a longer story. But if it is 5 hours, it's 5 hours. If it's good, then that's gonna make me want a sequel that much more. If it's dope, I'm gonna want to see what's next, and hopefully it'll be longer in the sequel. But I mean, if I bought it, I think I got my money at that point. So it's kind of a done deal.
no, I
That's true.
mean
The
that's
game.
a hard thing to say. It
Go
really
ahead.
is. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Nah, it's hard because I understand what he's saying. It's like just because it's good, we pretty much giving him an excuse to start making those type of games. I'm definitely not disagreeing with that at all. But it's a hard choice because if the game is really good, even if it's 5 or 6 hours, like, and you enjoy it, but it may give off the idea that, hey, this is okay, they'll accept it and
Right.
whatnot, and therefore it makes it even a harder choice. If the game sucks and it's 5 or 6 hours,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you like fuck them, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. But if it's a really good game, it's gonna be conflicting because at your core, we as gamers, we want something that's gonna feel worthwhile. And we can have another instance where something like this will happen, where a game will be 5 to 6 hours and it sucks, and we've already given them our money, but they think it's okay because we've already paid for it. So that's a very hard decision. It really is.
That's true. I agree with you too.
But yeah, in the day, it all comes down to the game itself. As long as the game's not shitty, and it better not be glitchy. I'm tired of these broken ass games.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too, man. I'm hoping and praying that this shit does not be glitchy, because
There is a day one patch. Just letting you guys know.
Better make it smooth. That's for first and foremost. The game better work.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's an hour. I don't care if it's 200 hours. The shit better work. Especially if this is more of a corridor. This isn't no open world game, so it should be pretty solid. And like I said, Ready at Dawn's a good studio. A lot of ex Naughty Dog people work at Ready at Dawn, so I mean they got good talent over there. I'm not worried about the game uh, having bad gameplay or anything like that. It's just far as the modes and and yeah the longevity and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully they can make some good money and they can make a sequel. I want to see another one. That's pretty much where I'm at on it. It's just kind of like, damn, it's just kind of like a not a slow start, but I just kind of want them to just come out the gate, with all their bells ringing and however that saying goes. But I get shit costs money and it takes a lot of manpower to make these games, so it is what it is, I guess. But
Yeah, it's like they just trying to get their feet wet. That
mhm.
could be possible too.
So yeah, hopefully, but I mean, it's no shots to Xbox, but it's more exclusive they got this month. So excuse me, but so
That hurts.
sorry, it's getting a little sick over here. My bad. Oh man,
Oh,
but
you
no,
might have that itis, man. You heard about that itis that's going around? That order
I know,
1886 itis, bruh.
I know. Got
Yeah.
that
Man,
5 hour bug.
it's deadly, bro. Be careful. I think I think they were saying that like signs, the majority of people that caught it, they say they what they told them was that they seen their first sign is when somebody damage controlled the order 1886, and
Oh man,
they start getting a little cough and they got real ill. So be careful, man, with damage control.
and everybody's using that play share feature this weekend. That game, watch out, you might spread that disease, that play share.
Oh, they're gonna be letting people share play the game, cause
I hope so.
yeah,
That'd be a good advertisement.
yeah, I think that'd be good advertisement. Cause I believe a lot of people gonna like the game anyway. So
Yeah. I mean, it's a third-person shooter. Those games always are a good shit. So
The game got so much hate though. I don't know if y'all noticed like the
That's
transition of
true.
hate this
Yeah.
game just went through. First it was the black bars. Then Evil Within came in. Nobody
right.
spoke anything about the black bars on that game
Yeah, you're
and
right.
whatnot.
It's because it's exclusive. If this was
Right.
Yeah.
multiplayer,
It's the exclusive, you know what I'm saying? Hey. And then it was the talk of it being a downgrade because it was on that stream and people was comparing that with the PlayStation 4 initial reveal and the stream. I don't know why the hell you would compare a stream to an actual video feed. But then it was the whole ordeal of it being boring. Like this game is just not, interesting at all. It's linear as hell, and now it's all the way down to like the length of the game. Like this game has
right.
got so much hate. I'm not sure if people realize like how much these devs have literally went through. It's crazy.
One thing that nobody can bash on is those visuals, though. What's that?
Not anymore, at least. But at
Yeah.
first they were. At first they were.
I mean, before a lot of gameplay, like solid gameplay came out, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how fickle gamers are these days, boy. I swear.
Exclusive game. When you don't have it like exclusives on your console and you see exclusives, you don't got no time to play games, so all you can do is bash. But it's all good. I understand. It's dry. It's dry. But
True that.
I think all three consoles right now I think are doing pretty decent, but they all could do better in some aspects. I mean, there's this whole thing with Splatoon and stuff too. I mean, you can talk about any console. People are pissed off about Splatoon not having voice chat, and Microsoft's been
Yeah.
getting bashed since before the console came out, and the orders getting bashed right now and stuff like that. I'm sure Uncharted will get bashed when it's close to release. It already has been getting a little bit of heat with the whole quote unquote downgrade, which is bullshit. So it's just exclusive games and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, as gamers, if we're actually going to be supporting these consoles and these games, I think it's okay to not bash them, but to have constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you don't care about the console or the game, is then just worry about the games that you're gonna play with. If this is a game that you got your eye on or a console that you like, there's nothing wrong, I think, with you know talking negative sometimes when you want it to do better, not just bashing for the sake of bashing it, but if you want your console to be the best it can be, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. But sometimes people just like bashing stuff just to bash it because they're bored or they want to hate or whatever. Which it's fun. I'm not gonna lie. I troll sometimes too, but it's all in fun. But some of these guys can take this shit a little bit too far.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes people do take it too far. And that's a sad. Me personally, I just poke fun at most of these motherfuckers, but it just irked my nerve to see that there's so many stupid people in the world. Like they gravitate to YouTube apparently. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like when you got a product that you want to see better, and you got a whole bunch of idiots telling you, "No, bruh, it don't hurt when you use KY." Like I'm like, hell no, you got me fucked up. I don't want no, I want this shit to be better. You feel me? So it's a little struggle, but like I said, I'm the new face, and I'm gonna make sure I do my part. You know what I'm saying? And try to at least continue to do what I've been doing, and that's speaking the truth and trying to make the product of my choice a little better.
And that's all. That's all we can do now. We the ones that are paying for these games. So without us, there wouldn't be no games because they wouldn't be able to make them without no money. So it's it's gotta be on both ends. We gotta demand better, and they gotta make better. So,
Yeah.
True that. True that. True that.
I agree.
but that's pretty much all I want to say. If you guys got anything else to say, we can go ahead and wrap it up if you guys want.
Well, I think I'm good. I think I got my yeah. I think I'm alright.
Yes, I know Mr. Official's making his pot roast over there, so you probably gotta go pretty soon.
Nah, man, I'm making ribs, yo.
Yeah.
But overall, man, I appreciate, what I'm saying, the invite to discuss such a pressing topic with you fellas. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Bobby W 223.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I almost fucked up your name. Respect to One Stop, you know what I'm saying, for coming through with us on here to discuss uh
Anytime.
Yeah,
yeah, these
appreciate it.
games with us, and my homie from Junkie Monkey. Shout out to you and the homie
Appreciate
Chris PKZ and
Oh yeah.
Treasy, all the big homies who mess with me. And
Oh,
yeah, man, just man, yo. At the end of the day, I hope that everybody has an open mind about these games. Stop letting these people with negative intent influence your gaming purchases. Enjoy the games that you know that you would like, and at least if you don't like it, at the end of the day, you tried it yourself, and opposed to listening to somebody who is trying to sway you away from something you may or may not dislike anyway. That's all.
it.
Real
Nice.
talk.
true.
That's real talk right there.
Kenny, you got anything? Wrap it up. Or,
Um, I'd just like to say thank you again for having me. Um, I like to agree with saying don't let all the negativity influence what you really want to do. But I hope this is constructive criticism to anybody that's listening, to any devs that could possibly listen. That we're just trying to help because we are gamers and we want value for our money. That's what I think. Because not everybody makes a lot of money. Everybody works hard, and just to earn a buck nowadays is a struggle. So keep that in mind.
Overeating them ramen noodles,
Yeah, I would just say this, man.
struggle noodles.
Yeah, let me just give a quick shout out to all the real Xbox fans, not the X twat fans. Quick shout out to everybody, all the members of the PlayStation Nation, especially for holding me a boy down too. All our subscribers, all the viewers out there, and all the truth seekers and truth speakers that's out there. You know what I'm saying? And it just and the gaming community as a whole. You know what I'm talking about? And I think that everybody in this podcast, you know what I'm saying, we deal with reality and we don't deal with fallacy. We don't deal with Neverland and Peter Pans and Easter bunnies and shit. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to, create, like, all of it. We just trying to create our own lanes, you know what I'm saying? And give people a different lane and try to get to the same place. And that's better quality games, get the bang for our buck. I understand that a lot of people might disagree with us, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth always going to thrive regardless. But anyway, yeah, man, thanks for having me on here. You know what I'm saying? I really do appreciate this here. And hopefully I can return, you know what I'm saying, if you have any more. And yeah, y'all be blessed, man.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for joining me on this. I don't really make too many videos no more, but this is something that I just kind of wanted to get off my chest. And I don't really do podcasts like this too much. So once again, thank each and every one of you for coming up on here. I'll get you guys' channels in the description. I'll put Junkie Monkey's website up in here too. Guys, go check that website out. It's one of my favorite gaming websites, actually, JunkieMonkeys.com. I'll put all that in the description, so check them out. And yeah, at the end of the day, whatever games or platforms you on, just be a real gamer and leave all that fanboy shit to the side. It's fun to joke around every now and again, just kind of spice stuff up in this side of the community. But in the day, we all gamers, no matter what controller you holding. It's all games. We all come from the same mold. So yeah, that's all I got. So peace.
Yeah,
Peace.
man. Peace.
Later, man.
We out.